Good day, friends. Today, in this special year of 2026, we pause to remember a remarkable woman who touched so many of our lives. 100 years ago, on April 21, 1926, a little girl was born in London, who would one day become Queen Elizabeth II. For most of us watching, she was simply the Queen, a steady presence through wars, joys, and everyday changes. She wasn't just a monarch, she was part of our family story. Let's take a gentle walk down memory lane together. She was born Elizabeth Alexandra Mary, the first child of the Duke and Duchess of York, who later became King George VI and the Queen Mother. No one expected her to be queen. Her uncle was King Edward VIII. But when he abdicated in 1936, to marry Wallis Simpson, everything changed. At just 10 years old, little Elizabeth became heir to the throne. Imagine that. A child suddenly facing a future of duty. But she grew up quietly, learning history, languages, and how to ride horses. During World War II, she even trained as a mechanic in the Auxiliary Territorial Service, getting her hands dirty, like so many young women of the time. She was practical, hardworking, just like the generation that lived through those dark days. Becoming queen, build gentle excitement on, what a moment. In 1952, when her beloved father passed away far too young, 25-year-old Elizabeth became queen. The world was still rebuilding after the war. Rationing was ending. Television was new. And millions gathered around tiny screens to watch her coronation in 1953. What a moment. The pomp, the ceremony, the promise of a new Elizabethan age. She took her oath seriously, to serve her people with devotion. And she did, for 70 years. Think back, she met presidents, prime ministers, ordinary folk. She traveled more than any monarch before, visiting over 100 countries. Yet she always stayed the same, calm, smiling, never complaining. Family and personal side. Behind the crown was a wife, a mother, and a grandmother. Her marriage to Prince Philip in 1947 was a love story that lasted over 73 years. They shared jokes, adventures, and quiet evenings. She raised 4 children, Charles, Anne, Andrew, Edward, amid the spotlight. And who could forget her beloved corgis? They were her constant companions, trotting after her at Balmoral or Windsor. She loved the simple things, countryside walks, horse racing, a good book. In her Christmas broadcasts, remember those? She spoke directly to us, like a friend, about hope, family, and faith. Legacy and reflection. Over the decades, the world changed so much: technology, society, even the Commonwealth she cherished. Yet she adapted, without losing her sense of duty. In tough times, the Falklands, 9/11, pandemics, she offered comfort with words like, "We will meet again." When she passed in September 2022, at 96, the world mourned a life of service. She wasn't perfect, no one is, but she showed us what quiet strength looks like. For those of us who grew up with her voice on the radio or TV, she was a link to a gentler time, a reminder that decency and perseverance matter. Closing. So today, 100 years after her birth, let's remember Queen Elizabeth II. Not just as a queen, but as someone who served faithfully through it all. Thank you for joining me. If this brought back memories, share them in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. God bless you all, and until next time, take care.